Hey, what's up guys? Red Bishop here with another video review. This time around for a game called Mr. Shifty, which has previously been released on the PC and the Nintendo Switch. It is now out on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. This is the Xbox One version you're looking at here. Developed by Team Shifty and published by TinyBuild. This is a game that I feel like is it's unique in this day and age. Like, you know, a lot of times we see a lot of sequels, we see a lot of this, but you know, with the indie games and the ID at Xbox program in particular, you'll see these kind of different games that have a different outlook and a different perspective on gameplay mechanics maybe we've seen before in other games or used to. And this time around, it's called Mr. Shifty. That's the name of the main character. And the whole aspect of the game and the whole gameplay mechanics are surrounded around you shifting. So you hit the A button to shift, and you see you'll have a bar down there at the bottom of the screen. The bottom bar with the blue little pips are how many shifts you have. So they fill up relatively quickly, but if you keep hitting them in succession, so if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 real quick, then your bar will deplete, and you have to kind of wait a few seconds, which you don't want that to happen because you'll get later on in the game, later on levels, where if you do that, you have enemies with shotguns, enemies with flamethrowers, enemies with dual SMGs, and if you end up running out of those shifts, it really will impact your play, and you'll end up dying and have to retry, the individual room over again. Now, like I said, the base mechanic of shifting is really the main gameplay mechanic, but you do have the ability to punch. So the X button will allow you to punch. So basically, you would shift. You see a guy with a pistol or machine gun, you shift real quick behind him, hit the X button to punch him, defeat them, and you kind of progress. And then they're also environmental kills as well. You can punch them through a window. If you don't open a door, you punch the door will go through, and if there's an enemy on the other side, the door will hit them. And then there are basically like little pillows and some jail cells. There are keyboards and offices. There are certain things you can pick up and interact with and use those as blunt weapons as well. And those are usually one-hit kills. So you get to later levels where there are these big guys that you have to punch 3 or 4 times before you defeat them, whereas you can pick up, a metal rod, or in one level in particular, a trident, and hit the B button. That's your throwable object button. You hit that button, or the B button on Xbox, it's circle on PS4. You hit that, and it'll throw it, and that's usually a one-hit kill. And I kind of mentioned what each button does. Like I said, the A button is your teleport or dash ability. B button is your throwable object button. X is your attack button, so just your regular punches. And then you have the right stick. You can kind of move left and right, as they call it, a peek feature. So if you want to see who's in this particular room, you can do that. But the controls themselves, they're simple, but they're very intuitive and very easy to pick up and kind of play, obviously, with only being 3 buttons. But they feel real tight. They feel nice. It feels like if you make a mistake, it's not the control's fault. It's not the game's fault. It's user error. And for me, that's the type of game that I enjoy because it makes it feel like I don't get frustrated as much. Granted, it's a video game, so there'll be a little bit of frustrations, but it's at myself, not the actual game. And the overall gameplay is just, it's fun to play. There are about, I think, 17, 18 stages, 3 different acts, and it takes, depending on your skill level, obviously, it'll take you between 5 to 10 minutes to do each stage, give or take a few minutes. It just, for $15, I feel like it does something different. It does something, unique. And overall, when it comes down to it, I found the game actually enjoyable and fun to play. And when it comes to, video games, that's the kind of crux of these. You want them to be fun to play. You want to enjoy your time with it. And Mr. Shifty, I enjoyed every second I could with it. There is a story. I didn't really talk about that too much. For me, the story was kind of second nature. It's there, but my whole thing was going in there, and I enjoyed the gameplay. The main hook of the game, dashing, teleporting, beat 'em up, that was fun for me to play. And when I started up the game, I did not expect anything from it. I didn't expect to like it, or didn't expect to actually play it most of the way through it, all the way through it, but I did, and I enjoyed my time with it. And I think I would easily recommend this game for $15. Whether you have a PC, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, or PS4, I feel like it's worth it on any of those consoles. Like I said, this is the Xbox One version. Didn't have any performance issues, no frame rate drops, nothing like that. It performed well, played well, it controls well. I would recommend it, and I suggest all of you pick it up as well. And with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.